So, I'm sure you've heard about buying properties for £1. Rick Otten's a real expert on that, as I'm sure you know. Who's seen Rick Otten speak before? Yeah. No, they've upped the scale, haven't they? 3 for £1, yeah. But that's if you can find someone with 3 properties, the right kind of property you want. They might not all be multi-lets, okay? And again, you know what? Options, by the way, buying below market value is one strategy, options is another strategy. Buying below market value does not work for everything, does it? Options does not work for every property. But with these different tools in your tool bag, you can potentially do more with the properties that are offered to you. Does that make sense? Yeah? So I think you've got a section from Rick, so I'm just going to really quickly whiz through this. But by using an option, you can control a property. And you don't necessarily get a mortgage on it. You're agreeing to buy it at some point in the future at a fixed price. And if it's a purchase option, you're just buying it. If it's a purchase lease, you get the use of the property as well. So you might find someone who wants to get rid of their property and you could take it on. And if it's the right location, right type of property, maybe you could multi-let it. So has anyone heard about doing this before, whereby you take a property, buy it on an option, and get a really good cash flow from it without even owning it? Has anyone done that? Sorry? No? Okay.
Making inquiry tomorrow to see if one I can do it.
Good. Well, let me give you an example. Again, this is a couple of guys on my side. In fact, these guys were, all the guys we've seen so far, Dave Turner and Susan and Nicky and Ben, they were speaking at Property Magic Live last year, sharing these kind of case studies on things they've done. This was an executive 4-bed house. It was on the market. Now, do you reckon there might be, you'll take good notes here, guys. I'm telling you how to do this. I'm telling you how to do a strategy. Do you think there might be some properties on Rightmove, big houses people are trying to rent out, and because they're big houses, they can't rent them out? All the time. So, you go onto Rightmove. This is the step-by-step strategy, guys. You want to write this down. I'm going to be very quick on this. I've not got time to go over it, because I'm probably way over time already. Okay? I've had speaking lessons from Rob Moore. He showed me how to go massively over. I'm normally really on time, but since we started late, sod it. There you go. Now, this was a property that was on the market. They couldn't rent it out. Dave and Denny, 2 of my graduates, they worked out that this was a really good area for multi-lets. They got some multi-lets in this area anyway. And they said to this guy, do you want to sell this property and we'll buy it for 5 years and we'll rent it for you in the meantime? Because he was empty. He wasn't getting anything on it. He said, no, I don't want to sell it. I'm buying for long term. So this is the smart thing. They said, well, okay. And you see, this is where a lot of people doing options will stop saying, no, it doesn't work on an option. You've got to see the invisible. Bit of a theme here, isn't there? You've got to see the invisible. Because they said, okay, well, if you don't want to sell it, how about we just rent it from you for 5 years? He said, what? What do you mean? They want to rent it for you for 5 years. Pay the rent every single month for 5 years, no voids. Do you think that would appeal to an investor? For all of you who've got property, if someone said, I want to rent it for 5 years, return it to you in the condition to give it to me, does that make sense? Who'd do that? If you haven't put your hand up, you haven't heard the question. It doesn't get much better than that, really. I'll wait for you for that one to sink in. Someone's going to rent your property for 5 years, pay you every single month in time in full. No management fees, no hassle, 5 years full rent. Who'd like that?
So long as there's a guarantee.
So, God, you want everything, don't you? So let me put it this way. You'd rather say, well, you can come and do that as long as you get a guarantee, or no, I'll just leave it empty. What would you do? Are there empty houses out there, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Are there empty houses where the owner of the property is trying to rent it as a full property and they don't know about multi-lets, they don't know how to do it, or they can't be bothered because they've heard multi-lets are lots of hassle. Are multi-lets more hassle than single-lets? Yeah. In a way they are, yes. But it's kind of worth it. You see a lot of people that want everything for nothing. They don't understand there's a bit of work, a bit of effort involved. You see, this house, I'll just whiz through this, it's a good location, it's good quality, they didn't have to do anything to it, it's all ready to go. I think they had to upgrade the fire alarm system, that was it. It had fire doors and everything anyway. These are the figures on it very quickly. They did have an option to buy this particular one at 15% below. They were trying to get more off, the guy didn't want to do it, so they've got an option. Do they have to buy it if they don't want to buy it? No, because it's an option. But they can if they want 15% below, or they can sell it to someone else. They're paying a rent. The guy wasn't renting it because he was asking a large amount of rent. Most people in this area wouldn't pay that much for a house. That's what he wanted, so that's what they've given him. They rent, plus expenses, bills and that kind of thing. They're renting out each of the individual units, and they're achieving 2,500. It's cost them 1,785. This is the house. They paid £1 for the option. They've not got a mortgage on it, and they're making £700 positive cash flow every single month. Who wants one of these? Seeing beyond what other people see, seeing the invisible, that's